Hey, what's up, everybody? Lawler here, your inside source for all things Rocket League. Starting to feel a little bit better, so hopefully we can crush through some of these videos for y'all today. But today's video is going to be focused more on RLCS roster news, as always, with it being the offseason. There's a whole bunch of them coming out, so we're going to be tackling about a handful or two of roster confirmations, some things we've been trying to figure out, and some dominoes finally starting to fall into place. How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you're all having a fantastic week as it's kicking off yet again, and a good weekend at that. We're going to be talking about some roster changes and some stuff that's coming around. Teams that are possibly looking for an organization having some options, as a couple have made themselves more well known. But to start things off, Tigreee from White Demons is now looking for a new team. He says, "Hey, Twitter, this might come out of nowhere and surprising, but the same goes for me personally. Today I got news that I'm no longer with White Demons, so it didn't look like this was up to him. It seems like he's kind of the odd one out. I have to say I'm obviously disappointed and sad, but sometimes it's like that. They're looking for a different type of player, and I respect their decision. Wish CRR, Dorito, and Brand only the best for their future. Had an amazing and fun time together, and I have no doubts they will be successful in the next season. Personally, for me, news caught me off guard, but I know 100% that I still have it in me to reach the top and have never been higher when it comes to terms of his motivation. This is not the end of his career, just a new beginning. With that being said, he wants to thank everybody for their constant support, and that he is going to be looking for the next part of his new journey. See you next season." So Tigreee, unfortunately for him, getting the kind of short end of the deal, and is going to be looking for a new roster. White Demons obviously have had some ups and downs in their results, and obviously always trying to make improvements. Unfortunately, it is going to be Tigreee that is the one left alone. I did mention a little bit ago about how there is some unsigned teams possibly having a chance to find an organization. This one came up through, actually, I think, social media posts on Instagram, where it is being promoted to go to your timeline. And it is actually from Esports MIA, or Esports Miami, which is a premier esports org based in Florida. They say Premier Esports Org, and not discrediting them in any way, but I've never heard of this brand. To my knowledge, they only have a team on their website for Call of Duty, and even some of those players aren't even associated with them anymore. And they have one content creator who plays, I think, collegiate. But yeah, I don't really know a whole lot about this team and tried to look some stuff up, but Esports MIA is looking for an RLCS roster, and I'm not sure what the budget is or what it all entails or how much they can go out of their way to support. But at the end of the day, if you're a team that is in the RLCS levels and you would like to, I guess, at least see what it's going to be, it doesn't hurt to shoot a resume over or shoot some interest over to the information that they have in their tweet that is probably displaying over here, and say, hey, you know, might as well gauge some interest and see what you guys have for a budget and if it's worthwhile and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it could be their introduction into the RLCS pro scene, which, again, a lot of teams are willing to pay a pretty heavy penny for. So we still don't know exactly when things are going to start, but the sooner the better, in my opinion, because there is obviously going to be a lot of teams that, when they do get announced, are going to be heavily sought after. Speaking of other esports teams, this one, obviously long-standing in Rocket League, is going to be Team Vitality, and they're teasing that they have something coming up soon. They put a car with a hourglass emoji, basically saying, like, yo, it's coming soon. There's going to be something that we're talking about. There's been a lot of talks about how they, now that they're no longer Renault Vitality, we're supposed to be switching over to Alpine, which is like a different type of like branding deal, now that they're no longer with the F1 side of things. So it could be Alpine Vitality that's getting announced, but we also just don't know. So we'll have to keep our eyes open for what Vitality has coming soon. I'll try to make a post about it when it ends up coming out. Before we get into the rumors that have been recently announced, we do have one confirmation. One of the puzzle pieces that we've been trying to figure out, a very talented player in Percy, who is no longer with Alpine, has obviously been trying to find a bunch of different teams, and has officially settled in with XSET, which this one comes to a surprise. I personally am a huge fan of Percy and his play style. Is one of those players that just kind of gets it when it comes to positional play, when and when not to challenge, when to buy time. Very methodical player. Really love the way he facilitates the field, the way that he can control the midfield and provide time and space and opportunities for his teammates, which is something that I think XSET has been missing for quite a while, and bringing in Percy, I think, is a fantastic addition to that. Now, how well that's going to work alongside Hoxer and JPow, I don't necessarily know, but I do think Percy is a great addition to any team. Maybe he will take more of a Mist-esque play style, which Mist used to also be in that similar regard to the styles that they played. But at the same time, with a new season, understand that you can change more than one player on the roster. There is no 2/3 rule that they really have to worry about. This is a team that didn't really get into the top 10 very frequently. So right now, I think they're sitting like 19th in the overall standings. So when it comes into automatic buys into the next season, I assume they won't have any. They will have to go through some sort of open qualifier. So if they do want to mix things up or change things up, or maybe during scrims and stuff with Percy, they have found something that has really elevated J-Pow and Hoxer to that next level. That could also be a thing. There is a lot of times that when you plug in one player, even though we may not get to see the emphasis on J-Pow and Hoxer in the past, bringing in this new player may allow them to kind of take it to that next level. It happens all the time where one player is enough of a difference to where this playstyle difference then comes in and makes a play. Interested to see what their coach Trey has done with the team and where things are headed, but I do think Percy is a fantastic pickup. He was a phenomenal free agent, one of the more sought after ones in my opinion. So XSET moving forward, I'm curious to see on what this new team brings. They did recently play with Gyro in the Gamers Without Borders event, but it looks like Percy is the solidified answer. So this is official. It is XSET's new third, going to be Percy, and pretty keen on him. So I'm curious to see on how this one plays out. Now for some rumors, some with a little bit more validity, some a little bit more trolly, and we'll get to that last one for a reason. But these are obviously going to come from Shift. The first one has to do with Guild Esports. Now that Though is no longer with the roster, they've been trying out different thirds, and they've been relatively quiet. We haven't heard a whole lot about Guild and what they've been doing, but it looks like according to Shift, they have been trying out a familiar face. For those that don't know, FC Barcelona, when they first came into the scene through the Rival Series, was Devo and Bluey working together, and it looks like they're trying to bring that tandem back. This is back when Bluey was in consideration for one of the best players as an MVP, actually, during that season with his performance and his dominant style. And maybe that old synergy coming back together could be a successful one with Guild. Obviously, a lot of talent and a lot of similarities, but it makes me curious on how they're going to effectively use that play style with the differences between Noli and Though, now Noli and Bluey with Big Dave in the back. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I did see a lot of exciting things when Barcelona was coming through back when they were known as, I think, Savage was the original team name, if I remember off the top of my head. But Bluey and Devo possibly getting back together paired with Noli could be a dangerous team. I think Bluey still has a lot of potential, and although it didn't work out for the Galaxy Racer squad, prime example with XSET with Percy, you could see, you know, kind of that resurgence come back. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see if Guild does go with Bluey, but we can assume for now that tryouts are happening alongside Bluey, Devo, and Noli. In another rumor, speaking of the Monkeys, previous Galaxy Racer, we do have Cash, former Rix.gg, who got put on as a sub, has been trying out with the Monkeys alongside Arju and Matane. Cash, I think, is definitely an underrated player and doesn't get enough credit from the majority of the scene. I think a lot of people just kind of don't really pay attention to it because Rix didn't have the best results. So a lot to prove for Cash, and if Cash does come to this team, I could see a lot of positives with him working alongside Arju up front. Matane, for those that don't really recognize, Matane is regarded as a very talented player, super consistent, and when he does pop off, he is absolutely lethal. Arju, from my experiences getting to watch and cast them through the grid before they were signed by Galaxy Racer, is very disruptive, super in your face, first to lead the charge, creates a lot of opportunities, and then from there, Cash and Matane can kind of pick and choose how they want to tackle this. So I do think it's a good fit. Whether it'll end up playing out the way that we want it to or not, I do not know. But again, a lot of these rosters are going to get that same kind of respect for me, where until I get to see them in a competitive environment, it's hard to really put my place on it. And probably by the end of the season, after all the dust settles and we finally get our solidified rosters for RLCS 11 or XI, as I assume it's going to be deemed, that is when I'll probably do a video being like, yo, these are my like gradings for what I think rosters are going to be success wise. So Cash, Arju, Matane, I think has a ton of potential. And although we've seen different results, Galaxy Racer has shown when they were with EXO that they are a top 6, top 8 team capability wise until they kind of fell out of the running. So we'll see how this one plays out. Last and least, and I don't know why I even give credit to this one. Apparently Jack felt like he was missing out on some of these Archie tweets, I guess, and wanting to get some of the impressions as well. I don't know how much seriousness is in this. I don't know if there's any weight to this, But apparently Jack has put out a tweet announcing Leonardo's low 50s for RLCS 11. The A team is going to be Ixo, Archie, and apparently Jack, where he deems himself the best. And then for the B team, Virtuoso, Scrubkilla, and Speed. Apparently 2 teams under the same name. They've got a new CEO, a head of esports, and I don't know what the hell this is. It's a good way to get impressions, I guess. I don't put any weight into this whatsoever. I think it's all just banter and fun. Maybe they'll play in some tournaments or some charity events together, but no, just no. For those that don't know, Jack and Jorias are working as a duo with Dignitas. Ixo is with SK Gaming, and I'm sure he's pretty dang happy. Archie is a core member of Top Blokes, so a lot of this stuff isn't happening. The only one with the B team is you look at that and you're like, all 3 of these players are trying to find a new home. If the rumors with Team Liquid are true, we haven't heard anything about what Speed's situation is. Scrub has been trying out with Dig and other things going on, and Virtuoso I haven't heard a whole lot on, so maybe that's a thing. This is, like I mentioned when we were talking about the Boost Cup for DreamHack, there's a bunch of rosters signed up. You got to kind of weed through some of the BS of some of the teams that are being signed up. This is also part of that. So, Jack, here's your attention, sir. But yeah, just going to dispel this right away. This is not a thing. So, again, who knows what's going on over there. That's going to wrap it up for this video of your RLCS roster news. If you guys do have any additional questions, comments, concerns, or you know of any things that are in the whispers or stuff going on around the scene, make sure you drop those in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you guys do enjoy the content, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. Trying to hit 50,000. Like 60% of you or something like that have not subbed to the channel. You guys come and you guys are interactive and you guys are amazing. But if you guys are enjoying the content, hit subscribe. There's a lot of people that miss out on notifications that I find out. The best thing that you can do is I tweet it every single time I put out a video. So hit me up on the other social medias. Also in my Discord, I always put out a notification saying that, hey, new videos are out. And a lot of people are finding out that they are not getting notified of videos. Heck in YouTube. What am I supposed to do? So if you guys do want to stay up to date, make sure you guys hit subscribe, turn on notifications, check out the socials down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.